When installing your DS3, first thing you need to do is read the instructions. So go through the instructions closely and work out exactly what's what. Then unpack the defibrillator. The back screen here will be wrapped up in plastic, so you need to take that off. Take the unit out, check all the screws, make sure you've got all the bits and pieces you need, and then the unit is ready to install. Then select the site you're going to be putting it on. In this case, we put it onto a brick wall, and this is the best thing because it's a very good solid background. You need to make sure you've sited your defibrillator cabinet where you've got access to mains power, whether it be plugged in with a sign on to say do not switch off, or hardwired into the electrics. And again, make sure that you do that by a qualified electrician. Don't attempt to do it yourself. Once you've already, you know where it's going, you're sure it's all okay, make sure that there's no cables where you're trying to drill. Just use a detector, make sure there's no cables or water pipes or gas pipes underneath the wall that you're fitting it on. Once you've done that, take the main sign, and you'll see on the sign there's some holes in it, and there's also a hole at the very top. Hold that against the wall, make sure that the defibrillator cabinet, this part of it, the lower part, is at the right height. And exactly where you want it. Make sure it's lined up level, so use a spirit level or measure through from the wall to the edge of the sign. And once you're happy where it is, hold it in place, get a felt tip pen, mark through the holes of where you need to drill. So mark all of the holes, including the one at the top, and then remove it and make sure that those marks are visible. If you use a very fine tip felt tip pen, that's the best thing for marking onto it. Once you've done that, take the sign away, because you're going to be making some dust because you'll be doing some drilling next. So move that away, and then get your drill. Use the drill, make sure that you're competent to use the drill. And you want something like a hammer drill. Make sure you wear PPE while you're doing it as well. It's important to protect yourself. And then drill out all the holes. You can look at the depth of the hole you need to drill. And then you can, if your drill's got it, you can have a little guide on the side to always drill exactly the same depth. The instructions will tell you how deep and what size drill to actually use. So we drilled these with an 8mm drill. Once you've drilled all the holes, just make sure they're all okay and there's no problem, then you can put the drill away. The next thing you need to do is get the plugs that go into the wall and push those into the wall. Make sure they're firmly smooth against the wall. This is what you're going to be screwing into afterwards. Once all the plugs are in, and don't forget any, particularly the one at the top, take your backboard, and to start with, just put the one in the top in. So put a screwdriver in, because if you can fix it at the top, that will hold the rest in place, that will take the weight of it. So once the top one is in, you don't need to do it up fully, just as long as it's in there enough to hold it in place. Then take the mounting bracket and put the screws through the mounting bracket and then through the back plate into the plug in the wall, and then tighten those up. Make sure you've done them all, and then if you need to, go back and do the top one and make sure that's tight as well. What you should then have is the backboard and the black mounting bracket held firmly in place. Once you've done that, just wipe it over to make sure there's no dust, just to keep it nice and clean. It'd be much easier to do that than put any dust when you're mounting the defibrillator cabinet on. You're going to need 2 people to do the next stage. So with 2 people, line it up so that the pegs on the back of the defibrillator cabinet and the bracket line up, and then slowly knock that down into place. Now don't hit it with hammers and things like that, just gently tap it if you need to, and make sure it's fully down. To do that, you're going to need to look in the side to make sure it's fully on. If you don't put the bracket fully onto the hooks, then there's a chance that it's going to be coming off and you're not going to be able to do the next stage very well. Once it's absolutely in the right position, just check everything around it, and then you need to put the screws in on the side. Now the defibrillator cabinet comes with a tool, and you can put a little screw, the grub screw on the end, and you literally just feed it in from the side, and there's a hole there you can put it on. So put it in, twist it until the screw goes in. Now that screw will stop the cabinet being lifted up. It's got a special head on it, so it's not a standard head, so it's not a standard screwdriver head. So it's going to be very difficult for someone to undo it and steal the cabinet at some point. So once you've done all those screws and they're all fixed in on the back, again, just double check everything, and then you can make sure that the unit is as it is now and it's pretty much ready, it's solid. The next stage will be to connect the electrical side of things. Now with the electrical installation, we're not going to be demonstrating that, as we've said in other videos. We're going to make sure that's done by a qualified electrician. For the purpose of this film, what we've done is we've connected it through with our electrician just into a plug for a short time, just so that we can demonstrate the functioning of the unit. So once you've plugged it in, You can see the green light will come on the outside and the unit is going to function. You're going to see the display on here. You'll see on here as well, there's a little light that tells you that whether it's locked or unlocked. You can test it by pushing the default code of 1234 OK, and then the unit should open up, and then you're ready to go. So the next stage for it is to get your defibrillator and put it in and get the unit tested from there.